They can love you without you loving you, but will you receive it 9 times out of 10? No, because you don't really understand what it feels like because you haven't given it to yourself. So I can say I love you all day, and you may hear it and say, okay, yeah, but you don't feel it and embrace it because you don't love yourself to the point of understanding and knowing what it feels like to be loved. So it's just words.
Welcome to Allow Yourself podcast. Today we have a very interesting person, a coach named Tammy Nicole Freeman, and she is an identity reclamation strategist, speaker, and emotional wellness advocate with over 21 years of experience in mental health. Although if you see her, you think she's 21. She supports high capacity women navigating burnout, emotional labor, overfunctioning, self disconnection, and identity loss beneath achievement and caregiving roles. Through honest and transformative conversations around self leadership, boundaries, emotional well being, and healing, Tammy helps women reconnect with themselves beyond survival mode and create healthier, more sustainable ways of living and leading. Her work empowers women to return to themselves with greater clarity, wholeness, and self trust. So let's welcome Tammy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm so honored to have you here. Really, it's a privilege for us to have such a powerful woman
No,
talking
thank
to our audience. So, um, tell me, when you hear the words allow yourself, what comes to mind?
Instantly, what comes to mind is permission. Giving yourself permission to do whatever it is. It doesn't matter what you're doing, it's just simply giving yourself the permission to do so.
So, what did you have to give permission to yourself in order to become so successful?
So you have to give yourself permission to do it because a lot of times when we are growing up, we're taught to do certain things in a way that is more like, Mommy, can I go outside? It's permission. So, teacher, can I go to the restroom? It's permission. And so you were taught and trained to get permission to do anything and everything for the most part. And so you too have to give yourself the permission to do whatever you want to do. So if you want to become successful, you have to give yourself permission to do so. Give yourself permission to rest. Give yourself permission to go a little harder. Give yourself permission to breathe. And I say breathe from a standpoint of like exhaling from all of the overwhelming things that you have going on. We as women have a lot going on in our lives. We're trying to be moms, wives, business owners. We're trying to have careers in corporate America. Like we are trying so hard to just do everything underneath this one little pot. And sometimes you have to give yourself permission to just breathe, just to be, you know what? Today is a day that you do nothing, or today is a day that you just exhale. And it's okay. The rest of your world isn't going to crumble because you did it.
Oh, but we think that our world crumbles if we pause, if we breathe. We are pushing hard and harder. Also, it's like society is pulling and pushing out to just perform and give us the value, not only to performing. Today, it's even one step further. I think is um, to be a to retrieve cash, not to produce. It's not only to perform, but to produce, money wise, I mean. And I see you work a lot with people that are at the edge of the burnouts. So what do you think those women don't give themselves permission, that they just need to go to
Burnout.
the edge? Mhm.
Yeah, burnout comes because you don't give yourself permission to rest, because you don't give yourself permission to reset. We require reset, period. You cannot run on empty. You must refuel. You must refill your cup. If you have a cup of water and you simply pour it out every time you do something, you pour a little piece of water when you're parenting, you pour more water when you're being a friend, pour more water out when you're being a lover to your spouse, you pour more water out when you're being an employee. Pour more water out when you're being a supervisor. You pour more water out. You're pouring, right? If you constantly pour from that cup and never pour into that cup, the cup is going to be empty. Burnout is the residue of water in a cup that you see water was there, but you no longer see the water. It's like, oh, I've poured it all out, but I see droplets. I know something used to be in here. I know something used to be held within this space. But burnout says it's evaporating, it's leaving, it's no longer have any substance there because I no longer can function in this capacity. And so when you get to that space, it's because you have not provided yourself a space of rest. You haven't given yourself permission to do that. You're constantly on the go. You're constantly pouring out and never being poured into.
And you said breathe, and you don't need to go on vacation just to breathe. You can breathe a couple of times during the day and stop and pause. And what to do on those times that you pause is like, how do you suggest to fill the cup?
You fill the cup by pouring into you. You do the things that make you happy. You do the things that give you rejuvenated spirits, right? It may not be anything related to work. It may not be anything related to parenting. It's simply related to you. But too many of us don't even know what makes us happy. We're
Yeah.
constantly just doing for others, doing for our kids, doing for strangers, doing for the job, doing for the spouse, we're doing for everybody else but ourselves. And because we do so much for everybody else and not ourselves, we don't even know who we are. So the source of getting to know who you are and filling your cup is to get to know you. Sit down, take a breather, and ask yourself the hard questions. And they're really easy questions, but they're hard because you never asked yourself and you never pondered the answer. And we think that the answer has to be something so elaborate and extravagant. And it could be something as simple as coloring.
Oh, that I do it every day. I cannot watch TV without coloring. That's the way, let's say, I feed my soul, the
Yeah,
coloring.
that's
And
that's filling the cup.
yeah, yeah, it's like if I because it's eating, let's say it's feeding my soul and my spirit, because if I don't color while I or do Sudoku or something with my hands while I watching TV, I eat food. So I feed my body. So it's one of the two. What do you want? Do you want to feed your body or you want to feed your soul while you're doing this? No, it's beautiful. You just is coloring. I said, oh, that's what I do all the time. But it took me to a place when I divorced and I moved to another house because I was the one who left. The question that I ask myself is, what do I like to eat? Because I used to serve my husband or food what he wants to eat. And I didn't know if I like scrambled eggs or fried eggs or omelette. I don't know how do I like my eggs. So it's starting from the small questions, as you say, just
Little,
really, really the small questions.
yeah, absolutely. Divorce seems to be the catalyst that always brings us into ourselves a lot because we were living our lives for other people. We weren't living ourselves in the middle of the relationship. We always just we get married and we throw ourselves in the trash can, and now we're just this person's wife. You think about it, when they introduce you, they don't introduce you as yourself, they introduce you as so and so's wife. Um, Welcome, Mr. and Mrs. It's so and so's name. It's not your name. And so you lose so much of yourself.
Of
And
your identity, yes. She's the mother of,
yeah,
right? But you pass from being the wife of
to
to
the
be the
mother.
mother of.
Yeah. And the reality is that that's not who we are. Those are the things that we do, right?
And before we were the daughter of,
Yeah.
right? Uh-huh.
But those are all titles, and they're titles that don't represent your identity. You have to define your identity. And your identity can start simply with your name, but who is that person? You know, who's Beatrice? Who is she? And you define that. It doesn't come from what Beatrice does. It doesn't come from where she likes to go. It's who is she? Who is her character? What is it that she represents, even if the titles disappeared. You know what I mean? And so too many of us do not rest and give ourselves permission to simply be ourselves. You get a divorce, you go, man, did I really like decorating the house, or did I just do it because that made it feel like a home for them? You know, Maybe I don't want pictures on my wall. Maybe I'm cool with the walls being blank because it's fine with me. Maybe I'm not a pink girly. Maybe I do want turquoise or blue and brown. You know, Maybe it's just the little different things that you may have never ever considered. But because you were always being considerate of other people, what they want, what they need, what they like matter, you completely forget what you like. You don't address what you need, and you just simply exist for them. And so when you say, I'm going to allow myself to do everything, I'm going to give myself permission to be able to simply be in a space the way I desire it.
And life is like, uh, we don't allow ourselves and we don't give permissions to stop and think, who am I, right? Why do we need to wait till the universe stop us, or with a burnout, or with an illness, or with some drama that it's, uh, who am I without all that? Or get fired from work. Who am I without that company? Who am I without that husband? Who am I? Right? Why do we need to get to that point?
It's not that we need to, is that that's what we are taught, right? We're just taught to keep going. We're not taught to include rest. And I always say, I don't know if this is a biblical uh, show, but from a biblical perspective, I am a Christian. Jesus rested on the seventh day after creation. And if he thought it was important, we should also too. But we don't think it's important because we have adopted a culture that says, go get it until you can't. Go get it until you've reached every goal that you desire. And it's always in the go. It's never in the no. It's never
I,
in.
I, Yeah, sorry. I think you read minds, because I was thinking even God rested the seventh
Oh,
day, and then you said, uh, and you said that because I always say, in the universe there are four seasons. There is a season to see. There is a season to wait. There is a season to harvest. There is a season even winter that the seeds are in the dark, doing nothing, just germinating. But it's not doing nothing. It's just waiting for the right time to do so. Um,
there's a
yeah,
time. I mean, in the Bible, he says there's a time for everything. And so we don't like to take that information and take it for a necessity. We take it as option, you know? And so I always tell people, and I tell my clients, you will be set down or you will sit down. You make the choice which way you want to go. Being set down is not always fun. It's a place of restriction. But if you took the time to sit down, you would have a little bit more freedom in how things maneuver. So it's on you, but no, it's a requirement. It's not an option.
Oh, yeah. It's usually traumatic.
Yeah.
Usually is yeah, usually it comes with trauma and drama and because what you're saying is that once you choose to stop, you can train yourself to see all the possibilities and not to take the first thing that you need to do just because you're in a shock
Yeah.
state of mind and you need to solve because we were taught to solve
Mhm.
because we are trained also not to allow to let go, right?
Yeah.
We need to solve all the time. Is that what you call survival mode? Because you said that
Yeah.
you reconnect beyond survival mode.
Yeah. We are always surviving and never thriving because we are living in trauma, right? Your nervous system is set up to simply be safe, period. Its job is to keep you safe. So when things hurt you, when things come against you, when you don't feel good about something, it immediately goes up. All of your alert systems are like, hey, alert, alert, right? So that's why if you grow up in chaos and chaos is normal to you, when you get into different relationships or environment where peace exists, you find that to be catastrophic. You're like, wait a minute, it's too quiet in here. What's wrong? you know, and you're immediately looking for the negativity out of something that's simply peaceful. It's quiet. There's no chaos happening, but your nervous system is set up in chaos, a normalcy of being everything, being everywhere, being all over the place, that when peace shows up, you like, that's a problem, right?
Oh yes, it reminds me that time when I left the house,
Mhm.
I used to live in chaos. That's why I left.
Mhm.
Big chaos. And when I was by myself in the other house, I start listening to the silence.
Mhm.
So it's like you say, but wait a minute, that's a dangerous situation. So I started all the fights. I fought with the guard of the condominium. I fought with the cashier in the supermarket.
Mhm.
I with every place I went, I needed to chaos just to feel comfortable until I catch myself and say, wait a minute, I left there because I was in chaos and I am here creating it.
Yeah.
It's not easy to teach a yourself to live in peace. It's really hard when you're used to chaos, right? It's like I used to say to my liver, you can rest now. Now it's the hard time to because you can do the same thing from the liver, or you can do the same thing from your heart. With
Mhm.
love or with chaos, where are you coming from? No? So yes, it's like you say, um, peace becomes threatening.
But you can retrain the nervous system. The nervous system just needs reassurance,
And that
right?
you need somebody to help you. You cannot do that by yourself, right?
Technically, you cannot from a healthy perspective, right? You need someone that's going to kind of walk you through it. But if you wanted to sit around and watch videos all day and listen to what people say as they teach you and you implement them, absolutely you can do it by yourself, right?
Oh, yeah, but still, you have somebody that is walking with you, although not physically, but at least mentally, is like you can do this. That's why the podcast is so rich because these small nuggets that we get here is like people get the permission. Oh, I have permission to rest.
Yeah.
Oh, I have permission to let it go. So it's just um, we don't need to give permission, but we are giving permission. It's like other people do it, you can do it to yourself too. You
Yeah,
can do it
absolutely.
too. Mhm.
Absolutely. So yes, I definitely say retrain the nervous system, reassure it that the peace is safe, that the peace is normal. Don't look for the chaos. And you may say, oh, that's easier said than done. But when you recognize that you're looking for chaos, you have to say, oh no, chaos doesn't live here anymore. This is where I need to be in a place of peace, rest, tranquility, something that's, sound. So you may do something from a standpoint of playing soft music, playing rain sounds, playing things that says, you know what, I like it here. Give yourself a baseline. Starting with sound is important because sound gives you equilibrium. It gives you a place of like, you know what, this is the floor and the floor is good here. It's stable. I can stand on it. Um, when things start getting chaotic, you say, "Oh no, I don't agree with that." My body's going to start shifting because that's not the peace that I seek.
It's very interesting what you're saying, because in the breathing, in the stopping, is really when we create this awareness
Mhm.
that something is happening.
Yeah.
Because yes, is that correct?
Yeah.
Is the awareness that what's happening to us, and we can put the mirror towards us and not towards outside, is when we have 50% of the problem solved. Once you are aware, that's how I used to tell me myself, I have 50% of the problem solved. If I'm living in chaos, I want peace. Okay, this is chaos for me. No, no, no. So I can breathe and sound. And as you say, sound is like the basics, right? Because it's the frequency where we are, that we are changing from that non-stop story that we're telling ourselves. By the way, this chapter 11 of my book, Flip It Over, is like, I love it. It's like, what's the story you're telling yourself over and over and over again? Just to
The narrative.
stop
Mhm.
and rewrite the stories you will tell
Yeah,
yourself. And
absolutely.
sound gives you that peace and that peace of mind to bring um, to be your floor, your different frequency, to stop it, right? Stop your
Absolutely.
amygdala of working.
Absolutely. And you said a great point. What story am I telling myself? What story am I aligning with this narrative in this moment, right? Being able to identify the issue is half the battle, right? Becoming self-aware is half the battle. So I'm aware of this. I see it. What am I going to do about it? Right? We hold the pen to our life every day. Who you are today can be somebody different tomorrow. It's a decision. You're one decision away from the life you want to live. You write the story. No one writes it for you, but you have to do the work. And the first thing you must do is become self-aware because the capacity that you hold in life is on you. It's all on you. How much capacity do you have? What's your emotional capacity? What's your mental capacity? What's your capacity to just simply live and be, to do everything that you want to do? The life that you want to live rests in the capacity for you to live it.
Oh, that's really, really powerful. You are one decision away from the life you want to live.
Mhm.
It's your decision,
Yeah.
and being aware. And for that, you have to allow yourself to quit the uh, victim role in your life. Look what the life is doing to me.
It does nothing to you.
It's not about that, because who is restraining you is yourself. Who is making the decisions is yourself. What happened? Circumstances are just circumstances.
Right? How you
Well,
respond to them is what matters.
exactly how you respond. Some people will see a crisis like an opportunity, and others will really convert it into a drama. Once others, okay, I can. It's like I said sometimes it's like a river when you can in the river it decides what you do with the water. You can see it from outside just to it's too hard for me, or you can water rafting and go down and enjoy it and have an adventure and do it for fun. It's the same water.
Yeah.
You just decide what you want to do. So it's very powerful what you're saying, because in the breathe and the stop and the awareness, you are taking responsibility of your own life, of how you respond to what you're seeing. And that's what takes you to be your self leader, as you call it, right? Your self leadership.
Yeah.
And the same thing, look what my mom did, or look what my cousin did to me. Okay, they didn't do it to you, right? Is that what you're saying? They did
No,
it.
they may have done a lot of things to you, right? Things happen, people do, you're only in control of you. You're not in control of them. So when something happens at the hand of someone else, it's like, yes, that happened, but how do I respond to it? Because your parents, they raised you in a way based upon their capacity, their knowledge, what they understood. It's on you to take the torch and reconvene your life in a way that says, hey, they did this. I don't necessarily agree with that. I'm going to look at it and take the things that were healthy for me out of it, and then I'm going to create my own way. If your parent was a mother who, let's just go with moms, because moms are very nurturing, they're supposed to be very protective and guide you along the way. But if she dealt with abandonment issues, if she dealt with her own parents leaving her, if she dealt with her dad not being loving to her and showing her that men matter in our life. Like if she dealt with that and she's now your mom teaching you that you have to love hard and overgive and over explain and just do the most for people to love you, that you need validation for other people, then you are learning that love matters based upon how I perform versus love being available to me because I exist.
Wow, that's really, really powerful. Um, and it's the question then, what's mine and what's not mine? What's me and what's not me? Right? Is that what you're saying? Because we were born into families that were already established uh,
Mhm.
as a couple or as a family. So our behavior is trained in order to fit in to the environment that already is there. It doesn't mean that when we grow up, we need to be that, or we can find our gifts and our different behavior. So we need to allow ourselves
Mhm.
to discover that and not see it like, oh, I am a rebel and I am a rebellion, because
Right.
it is felt like that. Like, well, I'm rebelling. My parents say that's what adolescence is. But I always say that in the 50s and 60s, we are in the second adolescence too, because we don't know what we want to do. We don't know who are we going to be. Well, we have hormonal issues. So it's like the second adolescence is to discover again what's mine and what's not. And as we spoke at the beginning, uh, we are so trained to perform until the burnout that we don't really know who we are. We are in the survival mode just to fit in and to be there. That we cannot remember who we really are because we don't need to create who we really are. We just need to remember, right? Is that correct or?
It depends on how you look at it. So some people are finding themselves for the first time, right?
Mm,
Because they don't know who they are. They've been people pleasing. They've been just doing things based upon what other people desired, what they wanted, to make sure that they didn't leave them, to make sure that they loved them, to make sure that they were able to keep them around. And so when you are moving through life from a standpoint of people pleasing, you're not really moving through life on your own recognizance. You're doing it for the sake of other people, right? And so I'm like, I want this because so and so said, just you can go as simple as I'm wearing blue today because so and so always tells me I look pretty in blue. Do you actually like blue? Well, I never thought about it. So let me think about it. Do I like blue? And I'm looking at it like, I mean, it's okay. It ain't my favorite. So why did you choose it? Well, like I just told you, so and so says I'm pretty in blue. But what do you think? Are you pretty in blue or are you just okay? So it's getting to the root of why am I making the choices that I'm making? Why am I doing the things that I'm doing? Because everything is a choice, right? Like I get up today, I can choose to get out of bed or I can stay there all day. It's all a
yeah,
choice.
it's like Brené Brown used to say that we usually, when we take into account so much, what other thing is that we want to really fit in because it's not to belong. To belong is when they accept you as you are, as with who you are, and you don't need to change yourself in order to be part of the group. That
Mm.
you change yourself when you want to fit in. It's not to belong. Um, and I like that explanation that you just said. Do you like it? Or I love now you're saying I just am listening to the voice of my mom that she passed, because I was a rebel adolescent. And so my mom to handle me used to answer like this. And it's really wise as you talk is I hear her again. He says, if you like it, I like it. That's what she. If when I came and asked, "Do you like my hair?" and the answer was, "If you like it, I like it." It's
I
like
love
give you the possibility to okay, because if not, if she will say no, I don't like it. Oh yes, I like it.
You
Uh,
would go trying to figure it out how I can make it better because I'm doing it based upon other people approving it. When we have to validate and affirm and approve ourselves. And that's why you say, what does allow me to give yourself permission? We're always seeking permission. Is this okay? I want to do this, but can I? What you think about it? Is it, any and everything, you're always validating it against somebody else's thought and opinion versus this is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to do, and I'm just going to do it. So I love that your mom says, if you like it, I like it, because it gave you permission to like it, and it also gave you permission to know that other people will like it if you do. It's not
yeah.
about it's not them liking it first and then you liking it second. It's no, it starts with you.
Yes.
Even when it comes to love and all of those things, like God said, love yourself, love your neighbor as you love yourself. And the bottom line is you can't love other people until you love you.
Yeah.
You have to start with you.
And the same thing, other people cannot love you if you don't love yourself. The other thing around too, right? Because you're
Well, they
teaching
can
your.
love you. They can love you without you loving you, as long as they love themselves.
Yeah, okay. Yes.
Right? So they can love you without you loving you, but will you receive it 9 times out of 10? No, because you don't really understand what it feels like because you haven't given it to yourself. So I can say I love you all day, and you may hear it and say, okay, yeah, but you don't feel it and embrace it because you don't love yourself to the point of understanding and knowing what it feels like to be loved. So it's just words.
Wow. Even if they show you, you cannot feel it because you don't love yourself first.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's performative. It's not genuine.
Oh, Tammy, you just open a file of my mom and you know, a lot of a lot of files came out, and it's so nice because I was educated and trained like that, right? If you like it, I like it. And I remember my daughter, she was like 10 years old. She used to have very long hair, brown hair, and I wanted her to shorter her hair because for me it was hard.
Oh,
Okay, for me it was hard washing and brushing and all that. So I convinced her to cut her hair. And she was like 9, 10 years old. And then she went to school and she tells me that her best friend says, "Oh, look at you. You look awful," right? With the short hair.
oh my.
And yeah, 10, 9 years old. So she said, "You don't like it? No. So don't look at me."
I love it.
So, so you see, it's like that file that was in the same file is like multiplying how you behave and transmit the same message again in the
Different.
next generation. Like you're a multiplier of what you have experienced.
Yes,
So you liked it, fine. You don't need other people to like it. It's enough. That's what my mother taught me. and
totally.
and automatically it looks like I transmitted that to my daughter. Oh, it has been such a wonderful conversation, and I think a lot of our audience can take a lot of nuggets from here. It's juicy, juicy, all this conversation. So I would like to ask you two more questions. Three, let's say. One, what would you tell your 15-year-old Tammy today? What advice will you tell her to allow yourself to what?
Allow yourself to love you.
Allow yourself to love you. And to our audience today?
The same thing. Allow yourself to love you. And the reason I say that is because we lack self-love at a high rate. We're so busy focusing on loving other people so much that we don't love ourselves. Like we have to start with us and then allow things to flow to the others. It is, I say a phrase all the time that says, love yourself so much that the love from others is a bonus because your cup should remain full. It should never go empty. If you fill your cup and then allow other people to also fill your cup because they're showing you the love that you're also showing them, your cup is ever overflowing. It's never empty. But if you're not pouring into your cup and you're only pouring out of your cup never stays in a space or a position to be filled.
Wow. Love yourself so much that the love of others is a bonus.
Extra.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Remember, love yourself so much that the love of others is a bonus. And in person, what do you need to allow yourself in order for your next chapter in life?
What do
Or
I need to
or to
allow?
evolve. Yes, what do you need to evolve? What do you need to allow yourself to evolve to your next chapter? Is there anything that you think you
I
need
would
to
say you always need to allow yourself to evolve, right? Growth is intentional. It doesn't just happen.
allow
Growth,
yourself to evolve, to
yes,
grow?
growth
Okay.
is a skill. You are to be intentional. You are to invest in yourself. You like listening to this podcast is a part of intentional growth. I'm here to learn more. I'm here to, increase my own value. I need to see myself better. I need to learn how to do stuff for myself in a different way or, become more self-aware. Those are skill sets. you don't grow by accident. You grow on purpose.
No, that's beautiful. Beautiful. It's not, don't be in your survival mode. Just allow yourself to grow intentionally
Yeah,
to
so that you can
so
thrive. We want to thrive. We don't want to survive.
mm,
Survival means I barely made it, right?
yeah. What it
Thriving,
means,
I'm
thriving
sure.
means, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, when you thrive, you soar. You go further, you go farther. When you survive, you only reach the mark. You never surpass it.
Beautiful. It means you can live different if you choose to.
Correct.
You can. Life can be different because life is good. And if it's not good for you right now, think about it. Where you're not giving permission to because life is good. Thank you very much, Tammy. It has been just such a pleasure and a high energy and really, really nice. And remember, for all those who are listening to us, to allow yourself to rest, to allow yourself to explore, to allow yourself to thrive, and especially allow yourself to love yourself in order to be what you meant to be.
Yeah,
So, see
absolutely.
you.
Bye. Thank you for having me.